The claim that Jesus had brothers is repeated often, yet it rests on a misunderstanding of language, culture, and scripture. The so-called brothers of Jesus, James, Joseph, Simon, and Jude, were not the children of Mary, the mother of Jesus. They were the children of another Mary, identified in Matthew 27:56 and Mark 15:40 as the other Mary, the wife of Clopas. Matthew never would have referred to the mother of Jesus as the other Mary. The distinction is clear, yet often overlooked by those reading through a modern lens. The confusion arises from translation. Hebrew and Aramaic had no specific word for cousin. The same word used for a biological brother also meant kin, relative, or close companion. Even though the New Testament is written in Greek, its use of brother follows the Semitic pattern, meaning kin, not necessarily sibling. Scripture itself provides numerous examples. In Genesis 13:8, Abraham calls Lot his brother, though Lot was his nephew. In 2 Samuel 1:26, David calls Jonathan his brother, though Jonathan was the son of Saul. In the language of Scripture, brother expressed closeness, not necessarily shared parentage. When this is understood, the so-called brothers of Jesus are seen for what they were: relatives, not siblings. The Gospel writers identified them as sons of another Mary, not his mother. The phrase "the other Mary" is critical. If she were the mother of Jesus, such a distinction would be nonsensical. No writer would ever refer to her that way, least of all Matthew, who emphasizes her throughout his Gospel. Even more telling is how these brothers spoke to Jesus. In John 7:3-5 they mock him, saying that no one does anything in secret who wants to be known publicly, and they urge him to show himself to the world. This is not the tone of younger brothers speaking to an elder. It's the tone of distant relatives or peers who neither believed nor respected him. In Jewish culture, such speech would have been scandalous. Younger brothers didn't talk down to an older brother, especially the firstborn. Respect for birth order was not a matter of preference but of Mosaic law and custom. Their manner of speech alone exposes the error of assuming they were his siblings. If Mary had other sons, the cross would have unfolded differently. In John 19:26-27, Jesus entrusted his mother to the care of John. In Jewish society, the duty of care always fell to the next male kin. For Jesus to bypass his supposed brothers would have violated social and family expectation. The act makes perfect sense only if Mary had no other children. The early church understood this without confusion. The doctrine of Mary's perpetual virginity was not an invention of medieval theologians, but a recognition of what the earliest Christians already believed. St. Jerome's 4th century defense of this teaching was not innovation but preservation. St. Jerome, writing in the 4th century, refuted the claim of Helvidius that Mary had other children, demonstrating from Scripture and reason that the so-called brothers of Jesus were relatives, not siblings. The misunderstanding is modern. The ancients knew brother to mean much more than it does today. They lived in extended households where kinship was wide and overlapping. To read modern definitions back into ancient texts is to misread both Scripture and culture. The confusion comes not from the Gospel writers, but from readers who have lost the context. The words are ancient, but the misunderstanding is modern.